Are you ready?
What's up? Welcome to the party. I'm Luke Braun of Locked On Vikings, and I'm about to embarrass myself more than Arif's 8th grade crush.
Hey, I don't know that the 8th grade crush was the one who was embarrassed. This is Arif. I left so sad. Sam is on a blind date with the news. This is exciting.
Luke Inman at Luke_Spinman. What do we got? 49 days of more mock drafts. Hang in there. We're almost there.
Locked On Sports Minnesota podcasts. It's endless Minnesota Vikings talk with the diverse voices of your local experts. It's time for the Minnesota Football Party. It's your guys hanging out talking next level Vikings football. So join in with Arif Hasan, Locked On Vikings Luke Braun, Superior Sports Talk's Luke Inman, and Vikings insider Sam Ekstrom, plus the biggest names in Minnesota football for the Minnesota Football Party. And it starts now.
Welcome in. Before we get to the breaking news, I want to remind folks that this is the Minnesota Football Party. This is Locked On Sports Minnesota, and it's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. You met everybody. We talk Vikings football. We do it on Mondays and Thursdays. We've got breaking news from Vikings land. Let's hit it again. Luke Braun, what's the news?
Tom Pelissero reports the Vikings and safety Theo Jackson have agreed to terms on a 2-year, $12.615 million extension through 2027.
Theo.
By the way, that doesn't count for the later segment. I'm just letting you know.
With the first 2 years fully guaranteed at signing.
Nice.
Ooh,
Let's
we got
go,
some.
bud.
So good
like
for
some
Theo
starter.
Jackson. Sounds like a rotational player to me. Sounds like a safety 3.
Yeah. Let's bust out those 4
million
safety looks maybe
year.
next year. Come on now.
It's $6 million a year. That's what it looks like.
This is big for
Trust
my
my vision.
brand.
3 corners.
This is a pat on the back moment for myself. I've been preaching Theo Jackson is going to be the guy that they just ordain in the offseason. They're going to have a vision for him, and he's going to fill a role. And I think I said he was going to be a starter next year. I think it's
going to be like arguable if he's a starter, I think. At $6 million a year, it's going to be like, is Josh Oliver a starter? Like, you kind of have to, what's the definition?
Yeah.
But third safety, I kind of feel it. Yeah.
Well,
like if Harrison Smith retires, you bring back Bynum, that's your group. Boom.
Yeah, important rotational role. That's fair, I think. But
yeah, I'll stop flattering myself about my predictions. But does this indicate? Does this indicate that a safety's gone? Is a safety gone with this announcement? Is this a signal?
That's interesting, right? Because they obviously got Metellus.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think you do that if he's the 4th guy in the room.
Yeah.
2-year, almost 13 mil. That's a spendy backup kind of deal, don't you think?
Yeah, that's not a special teamer.
Yeah,
or backup.
You might potentially spend that much on a backup tackle if you're like really hurting for that, but that's not what you spend for backup safety.
Not for safeties though.
Yeah, I guess playing a role.
But that doesn't mean Bynum is necessarily. That might mean that they're like currently expecting Harrison Smith to retire or whatever.
Yeah, either one. Yeah.
I still think my vision from when we did free agency a couple weeks ago here, where they spend really big and they spend more time in true nickel instead of big nickel, and don't play 3 safeties like 90% of the time like they did last year.
You're wrong. Get dunked on.
What?
Look,
No,
this might signal big nickel.
No, it's that it's going to be rotational big nickel, and they're going to spend maybe more like 60-70% of the time, plus dime. Like sometimes it's both. But they're going to be more serious about the 3 corners and have, like for mine, it was like DJ Reed, Byron Murphy, and Mike Hilton, and like have those 3 guys out there all the time with Theo Jackson peppering in sometimes depending on the game plan.
As much as we rip Kwesi for Lewis Seen, you gotta applaud him for Theo Jackson.
Yeah, we Marcus Epstein somebody.
Sneaky move. Yeah. Smart move. 6th round pick. Correct?
Yep. Waiver claim his rookie year.
Look at that. Get him.
writing was on the wall last training camp, 2023 training camp, when he was getting reps that were better than Jay Ward and occasionally Lewis Seen. Like Theo Jackson's been.
And when he's got onto the field in that safety role too, he's made some plays, man. And
he
at
picked
the end
off
of the
Jalen
day,
Hurts.
at the end of the day, that pick versus Philly for sure. At the end of the day, that's what matters most too, right? Like when you get your time out on the field to shine, are you making some plays? And he's certainly done that. So I think we've all been kind of low key, just kind of excited about like, oh, that's maybe a guy in the future as we've watched in the last couple of years.
Fun way to start the show. We're going to circle back into the latest quarterback rumors that are getting strange. We have non-quarterback free agency rumors. We're going to put together free agency bingo boards for next week, and this would have been on my board 100% because I was one of my bullet points or one of my suggested squares was a Tom Pelissero Viking scoop, and this would have qualified, I think. So a little bitter about that.
You're going to get more of those. Yeah. We're safe.
Yeah, I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bad Take Anniversary also makes an appearance on this show, and after bragging up my brand, the Theo Jackson news, this one will take me down a peg.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes.
Oh, he's getting himself.
Yeah.
Noble.
Respect.
I thought I was next. That's crazy. My time will come.
Adam Schefter went on a podcast, and as I think still pretty credible voice in this business, he's of the belief that a short-term Darnold deal could still be in the mix. What do we make of this? Is the market truly not that robust? Are the Vikings going to have Darnold fall back into their lap? Because my take on this would be, if this is an auction, the Vikings will make the initial bid, right? They've got the paddle. They'll make the initial. If anybody tries to get in a bidding war with them, the Vikings should not, and I don't think will, raise the paddle again. I mean, I think it's only going to take one team to really take this seriously. And because it's probably a team that doesn't have an alternative. It's probably a team that doesn't have a J.J. McCarthy. With the Vikings having J.J. McCarthy waiting in the wings, are they really going to get into any kind of competition for Sam Darnold services? This would have to literally be a single team negotiation, and that team would have to be the Vikings.
Not just JJ too, but also your plan B of Daniel Jones, who you brought in the building specifically for this backup plan as well. I'm interested to see when that first paddle gets raised, what is the price right away? Like what, if he's coming back, what's the price? Is it 25 mil, 28 mil, 22 mil? Is it under 20? I mean, obviously, like if salary cap wasn't a factor, right? Of course, we'd all want him back. Guy just won 14 games last year, but we all know how much they love JJ McCarthy. They've invested that 11th overall pick into him. You already soaked up one year, I guess, on his rookie deal, going into year 2 now. It just feels like, unless it's a very, very, very friendly deal, I don't think it makes a ton of sense for the Vikings to. You just know they got to start handing over the reins to JJ this year, one way or another. They have to get JJ McCarthy on the field so they can start to figure out if he's the guy or not for the future. And I again, going back to Daniel Jones, I personally still like that Daniel Jones 8 to 12 million backup plan too. And that kind of always felt like that would be a possible route they planned on going once they brought him in at the end of last year too. So I don't think it makes a ton of logical sense, like you said, Sam, to get in any type of bidding war. We may start the bidding and get it going, to your point, but also too, think about from Darnold's perspective too, like, of course you love it here. You love the supporting cast. Of course, JJ, Addison, KOC, all these guys. Obviously your stock though is at the highest it's probably ever going to be. You're coming off a 14-win season. You almost won comeback player of the year. You just put up all these great stats. Your free agent competition is guys like Aaron Rodgers, who's another year older and wasn't really that good anyways. Who else is out there? Justin Fields, Jameis Winston, Joe Flacco. Plus, the quarterback class is pretty weak this year, too, which I don't think is going to be the case in 2026. So there's got to be at least 5, 6, 7 quarterback-needy teams out there. You're the clear-cut number one option, it feels like, between age and the 2024 production. Maybe you don't end up with this Baker Mayfield type of deal that got flung out, but I can't imagine there's not at least one or two other teams, like you said, Sam, raising up the paddle and give you something close in the ballpark of that Baker Mayfield type of deal. So, I don't think it makes sense for either teams, really, to be honest.
Yeah, Geno, $25 million per year has been tossed out there. That would be such a depression on what we expect.
It would be, if you had just took the Geno deal and adjusted it for like the current cap environment, it'd be more like 30. Like between Geno and Baker is between like 30 and 36, and that feels like about the right range. But if I may put on, I don't physically have the tinfoil hat anymore. It's long broken. But I kind of feel like, what if this is Darnold's agent speaking through Schefter and not being very happy about the market that he's finding and saying, oh, yeah, the Vikings might keep him, like to try to get people to feel a little FOMO and maybe bring their prices up a little bit.
No, legitimate theory. Very. That's not even tinfoil hat. I think you're right, Sam. Like, I think it's the Vikings have their offer. It's probably a hideous lowball, and it's just Sam Darnold. Maybe not like there was. I think their hopes up were like their hopes were up for like 40 mil for like tag based extensions.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's what they heard at the combine. I don't think that's the answer they got. I don't think they liked that. And now the idea of potentially a short-term extension with the Vikings is a little bit closer to what you maybe would get in free agency. So Sam Darnold might be thinking about that low ball offer. But I still don't see him actually taking it without actually like getting concrete offers during the legal tampering period from other teams and seeing what that actually ends up being.
All right, so I'm actually super curious about, because I think the timing of this matters. So Schefter said this, I think, on March 4th, I want to say. And I think that he said that before we'd learned about the Matthew Stafford deal of him returning to the Rams. And the reason I think that's important is because I think teams were maybe waiting on figuring out whether or not they wanted to pursue Sam Darnold based on whether or not Matthew Stafford was available. So it kind of depends on how recent Schefter's information was when he spoke about it, which I know is like getting very kind of niche and maybe I'm overthinking this. But I think that part of Sam Darnold's cooled market was that a couple of teams, I think the Giants and Raiders in particular, were thinking that maybe they could, acquire Matthew Stafford. And that didn't end up happening, right? And so with that out of the way, we might see or may have already seen, post that report, Sam Darnold's market heating back up, because if several teams think they've got the quarterback situation solved, they're not going to go after Darnold. But now two teams are in a spot where they don't think that they've got that ability. And so we might see a reopening of the market for the Raiders or the Giants. And with that in mind, it might be the case that Schefter could have been reporting as accurately as he could when he said it, but it may no longer be relevant because of the change in the quarterback market. So that's something to kind of, understand that like maybe, the Vikings are the only ones with an offer on the table, but that doesn't mean that we're going to be the only ones with an offer forthcoming. So I think that probably plays a role. Obviously, like you said, Luke, the possibility that Darnold didn't see the market that he wanted to see when his agent was kind of trolling with teams at the combine, that probably plays a role too. Again, my expectation has always been that the Vikings were going to offer Sam Darnold a deal, but I also expect the Vikings to offer Darnold a deal well below what the market rate is. And if the market rate is even lower than maybe I would have expected, then maybe the Vikings are a little bit higher on that ladder than I thought. But I still think Darnold is probably not coming back because there are not that many quarterbacks in this draft class. No matter what the March hype cycle will have you believe, whether it's Shuck or
Jackson Dart, baby.
Come on.
Or Jalen Milroe seems to be kind of, which is like, I don't even know.
Who's the Louisville guy everybody's excited about? Like
Shuck. Tyler Shuck.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
He's 26 and he's been injured all the time. He's perfect.
Brandon Whedon 2.0. Perfect.
Yeah. We love him. He's very mature. He brings a lot of leadership into that locker room.
He can rent a car when he goes out on vacation. Like, that's huge. Our cornerback room couldn't do that before we signed Byron Murphy. So
I mean, now you can rent a car under the age of 25. It's just insanely expensive. Love that.
Oh, draft stock plummeting. Forget it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
He's out.
But yeah, so, a lot of people are talking up the rest of this quarterback class, and I don't see it. And I don't think teams will think of the second tier of quarterbacks as a potential replacement for a starter or a potential actual starter in the same way that Sam Darnold is. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if a team signed Sam Darnold and then drafted Jackson Dart. It was like, hey, maybe kind of long-term this can work out. If it doesn't, not as big of an investment as a first-round quarterback, so we'll go after that guy. But I think that the Vikings have always been willing to offer Darnold a deal. I just don't think that they're going to be the only ones or the highest bidder, as it were, Sam.
Well, Arif, if the Vikings give Sam Darnold the deal, J.J. McCarthy is going to ask for a trade. Didn't you hear?
That's
there
a good
was
point.
A report about this.
That's always
that's
happened
obvious
with these
of course
young quarterbacks, for sure. That
Definitely
J.J. McCarthy seems like that kind of guy. What in the who said that?
Who do you think?
Who did say
who do you
that?
think?
I wonder who would stir
all
the
right,
pot
all right.
to that
Yeah.
extent. Rhymes with Blorio.
Did he
You're so
report
good at these, Sam.
that it was? I haven't seen this article. I won't click on that website. But did he say like sources tell me he's going to, or did he do the thing where it's like, oh well, he could if he does feel this way. If could.
It's a possibility. You gotta keep that in mind. Even though
just so he can drum up a headline and get everybody whooped up without actually doing any reporting.
100%.
The latter.
The model that we have for first and second round quarterbacks who are on teams that sign a quarterback to start very strongly suggests that just doesn't happen. Where is he getting that? I'm so confused.
Think about that from the Vikings perspective, though. If there was a shred of truth to it, it really would. There's zero chance that you would lose J.J. McCarthy forever and have a short-term deal with Sam, gamble all your eggs on a short-term Sam Darnold deal. Oh yeah, well we would exchange J.J. McCarthy for a year of Darnold.
The Denny Green comparisons with Kevin O'Connell only get stronger.
That's actually a good point. But here's the thing: if J.J. McCarthy requests a trade, first he'll do it privately with the team and not necessarily leak it via agent. But second, the team will just say no. Who cares? Great.
What are you gonna do? Hold out on your rookie deal?
yeah, you already signed it, Bucko. Come on, it's just fines all the way down.
That's insane. I thought there was another interesting piece of free agency steam, maybe a little more credible. I believe this came from Ben Gessling. Carlton Davis would be of intrigue to the Minnesota Vikings. Cornerback, didn't he miss the end of the year with a jaw? Was it a
broken jaw, right?
Broken jaw
for the Detroit Lions.
Gnarly.
Macho, you missed.
Macho missed the sound. Wow, you got to go back, dude.
The breaking.
Yeah, you got to be on time, Macho. That's on you.
Yeah, you got to go back. You can so
Rich coming from us.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be on time.
Yeah.
Scroll the bar backward and
wake
you can
up,
experience
Macho.
it for the first time. Carlton Davis, though, I'd be into it. 28 years of age,
he's only
really
28. It feels like he's been in the league
28.
for 10
Yeah,
years.
Wow.
He's only 28.
He was drafted young. Him and Jamel Dean were both.
Jamel Dean, yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And he'd signed obviously that extension with the Buccaneers, and then got traded to the Lions because the Buccaneers had a lot of people to pay. But it sounds like a crazy guy. It's a good point. Macho, sorry. Macho in the chat just did the handshake emoji between me, Arif, and Luke for being on time. Outstanding work. But yeah, I mean, I like him a lot. He's a very, very physical player. A bit of a penalty problem. I think that if you pointed it out last year, Lions fans would be like, whoa, the penalty problem was only the first half of the year. 4 of those penalties were in one game against DK Metcalf. And it's like, yeah, maybe that'd be a good point if he didn't have a penalty problem every single year except one, right? He's been a huge penalty guy. And that juice is worth the squeeze, right? That's worth the cost, the price of admission for Carlton Davis generally. But it will be frustrating. That's just going to happen. And so that's something you're going to have to deal with. But I think he's worth it. I think he's a very good player. He has excelled in both man coverage and zone coverage situations. He's a fairly sticky, fluid player for his size. But he's got really quick eyes. And so I like him a lot.
Any other?
Yeah, definitely checks a lot of those boxes physically, right? I've been on the, how much is DJ Reed going to cost? And I love Reed, but having at least one guy over 6 foot, he comes in at 6'1", 205 would be kind of nice, right? And to your guys' point, He is very, very aggressive. He's solid in that aggressive kind of man scheme as that second boundary guy. He was great with Aaron Glenn last year. Always been good in run defense. Somebody on the outside on the boundary you can count on. And like you said, yeah, definitely got this reputation of being grabby. I think that's why he fit so well actually last year with Aaron Glenn in Detroit. But if he can get your hands on you at the line of scrimmage, he is a really good press man, kind of disruptive cover guy. That's always been pretty reliable. So yeah, I think I know it was a while back. I think it was 2019, 2020. He was in the top 3. I know in pass breakups.
The Super Bowl year. It was
in the league. Was that then? Yeah, he was.
That secondary.
I mean, that's a while ago now, but
Antoine Winfield, Jamel Dean at the top of his game.
Antoine Winfield, the rookie that year.
The rookie.
Jamel Dean, Sean Murphy, Bunting. It was an insane group.
Bunting,
yeah.
Yeah.
Big into it.
Yeah, I like
echo what everybody else said.
You probably would have to adjust the scheme a little bit to most advantage yourself with Carlton Davis specifically, because I do like him closer to the line of scrimmage, but that to me is not an enormous problem. I think Brian Flores can figure
maybe
it out.
Not even a problem at all. That might be a good thing.
Are you guys looking at him as your CB2, and I love him as a CB2, or if we don't bring back Murphy, that's fine. I feel more than fine as my CB1.
If you have both those guys, I don't think you have to determine who's 1 and who's 2.
Yeah, I don't think you have a 1 or a 2.
You probably play him on sides.
But if they didn't bring back Murphy and they're like, well, we're bringing in Carlton Davis, he's going to be our new guy. He's going to be our
and
new
he's the guy, and it's him, Mekhi Blackman, and some third round
some other
your deal.
Your new Gilmore in the mix or whatever. Yeah,
I think he can play that and has played that before. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
That works.
Yeah.
Projection on contract 3 years, $14 million per. That's about $3 million per year less than Byron Murphy. A little bit of savings. He's only 1 year older.
I'm still confused about these cornerback numbers.
It feels so weird to me.
We'll see.
DJ Reed is less expensive than Byron Murphy in these calculations. Right?
Yeah, Byron Murphy's the most expensive corner on that page.
Yeah, it's outstanding work. Okay, Spot Track does its own thing. Let's figure that out. Because I'm flabbergasted.
Spot Track's got a weird market value number. It's usually I'd go with PFF far more than Spot Track, because
but they lost Brad, and so I'm kind of curious.
You can feel that they lost
Brad is the Ben Johnson though. He left a really good foundation. Anyone can project contracts.
How do you know Ben Johnson left a good?
I don't know. They got Cam Robinson making $19 million a year for $3 million for 3 years. There's some weird stuff on here.
Sam, how do you know that?
This might, I don't know. If you read Matthew Collar's book about PFF, maybe there isn't a super strong foundation. That'll be a good bingo item.
Direct people to my site. That's cool.
Wide left. I know you love to write about failing enterprises.
PFF expose. That was your second biggest article of the year, right? Next to the draft
100%. Yeah.
Ron Johnson's coming up next. We've got bingo cards to fill out later and bad take anniversary. But RJ coming up next, Minnesota Football Party. Brought to you today by Chewy. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy, whether it's food, treats, pet health care. They make it fast, easy, and affordable. It's dogs, it's cats, birds, fish, reptiles. They've got over 100,000 products from your favorite brands that you can choose from. A minute ago, I mentioned pet healthcare. Yes, telehealth vet visits. Very convenient. If your dog or cat is sick, make sure you get that taken care of just over the phone. Also, in-person vet clinics rolling out nationwide. Auto Ship is a game-changing feature. Set up automatic deliveries for food, treats, or other essentials so you never run out, constantly running out of the dog bones, and somehow can never get to the pet store to get new ones. This would solve my problem. Chewy has everything you need to keep your pet happy and healthy. Right now, you save $20 on your first order. Get free shipping by going to chewy.com, clicking the link in the description. Save $20 on your first order with free shipping by clicking the link in the description. Minimum purchase required. New customers only. Terms and conditions apply. See site for complete details. He's Ron Johnson, the Ron Johnson Show at 3Ron Johnson on X. He joins us now as he does each Thursday. Ron, Theo Jackson signed an extension about 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
2 years, $12 million. Let's get your thoughts on that.
I mean, he's been behind Cam Bynum, Harrison Smith, and Josh Metellus. You know, he's been around for a while now. Seems to be a solid backup, and I think that's what they're thinking is like backup. Could he potentially become a third safety to Bynum, Metellus? And you know, are they preparing for if Harrison Smith leaves? Could he? I mean, remember Ant Harris? Could he take on that Ant Harris role where all of a sudden you've been a backup for years? Let's plug you in as a starter or get more time, see what happens there. So, or is Harrison Smith going to, you know, stick around for one more year? Theo Jackson is going to be waiting in the wings for another year, or is it we're not bringing Cam Bynum back? We're going to go with Harrison Smith, Theo Jackson, and Josh Metellus. So there's a lot of, you know, pieces of the puzzle that has to fall. We still got to, you know, see what this Byron Murphy versus Cam Bynum signing goes. The Sam Darnold saga continues. But I like the move. He's been a solid special teamer. He's been a solid guy to plug in when Harrison Smith's down. And seems like a good fit for the team.
Yeah, and it looks like he's signed through 2027. So that's his restricted free agency year coming up, and then 2 more. I don't know I'm not sure exactly how this works number-wise, what he's making this year, but you could very easily have him be your third safety. Harrison Smith finishes his career this year. Theo Jackson takes over, and you could still sign Cam Bynum long-term if you wanted to. Yep. Room for all 3. Some people thinking that this is a signal that someone's gone. We just don't know yet. Right. Yeah. Secondly, Ron, you know, the rumors just keep dropping. You've got all of the national insiders. They've all got a Sam Darnold opinion, and it seems to differ by the day. Adam Schefter weighed in on a podcast recently. He thinks that a short-term Sam Darnold deal could still happen with the Minnesota Vikings. I no longer know what to think. I don't know if I have a good read on this situation, Ron. We've been going back and forth on the Ron Johnson show. Like, as of today, where are you sitting with this whole thing?
I have no idea. Here's the thing, man. People like I look at a lot of people that take like Florio, for instance, and I can't take Florio seriously. Like Florio to me, like I love Florio, but
you
like,
and Braun agree again.
Like, he's just getting
older.
Oh,
the world is turning.
It's like when Iron Man and Captain America finally just say, you know what, let's be boys.
Wait, who's who?
I don't know, but Luke seems more like a playboy. Like Luke seems more like an honest guy that wouldn't do anything wrong. I'm more like the playboy philanthropist billionaire that has a little bit of a sketchy past. But I'll do whatever to lay down my life for the cause of the world.
Wayne.
Did you describe yourself as Tony Stark or Robert Downey Jr.'s sketchy past?
Both. I am.
Okay.
Okay, double down. Yeah.
More Tony Stark though. More Tony Stark. Okay. But when you look at and Luke, you know, all you got to do, we got to put you in a machine, give you some of that serum that they put them in.
Yeah, I'm like pre-serum.
Yeah,
Captain America. Yeah, with the CGI head that doesn't look right. Yeah,
and then you'll get what's her name, Peggy Carter. Like you know, anything for Carter. Like I would go back
and then lose her tragically to time.
We don't know that though. We don't know that.
Right.
We don't know that yet.
There's cryogenically frozen later. In the wars to come, this will happen. Yeah.
Sam's like, read a book, guys. Read a book.
Robert Downey Jr.
All right. The thing about Florio, I heard Florio get reposted by like a Vikings pundit that's like, Florio seems to think that Sam Darnold or JJ McCarthy wants to trade him up. Like, this is the same guy that said a bunch of other stuff that didn't come, and then he got mad when it didn't happen. Like, I just.
Yeah, then he got mad. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, he got so mad when Justin Jefferson signed that extension.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Like, as if like, oh, you didn't do what I said. I can't believe this. Like, dude, calm down. And he curses too much now. Like, I feel like everybody's starting to just want to curse all of a sudden. Like, I used to be able to listen to a lot of these guys, and like, I still listen to Dan Patrick. Shout out to NBC Peacock. Hey. Love Dan Patrick. You know, keeps it clean, Will Smith-ish, you know, doesn't need to curse, doesn't need to be brash. I feel like Florio, for some reason, has pushed the limit now and wanting to curse. But anyway.
We got kids in the car, Ron.
Correct.
If we want to have the fan on in the car, yeah, we want to listen.
Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. But, you know, so Florio has brought this up a couple of times about, like, JJ McCarthy's going to ask for a trade if Sam Darnold comes back and all this. I don't think any of that's going to happen. I think both of them understand what they're worth. I think both of them understand, like, they can coexist. If I'm JJ McCarthy and I look at Aaron Rodgers, do I want, like, let's call it RG3. Do I want an RG3 type career where I play too soon on a hurt knee and then I'm done early? or do I want to be Aaron Rodgers and potentially learn under a system that's going to be favorable for me long term? And then I get to play 15 to 18 years and I'm in my 40s and I'm still getting people like the Los Angeles or Vegas Raiders calling me. Give me the Aaron Rodgers route. Like that's what I don't understand without the ayahuasca, but give me that route. Like, I don't understand. I don't think JJ McCarthy would care one bit. I think he'd be like, look, I'm getting paid to sit here and learn millions of dollars. What other job will pay you millions to be an understudy? None. Like the understudy for Iron Man, I guarantee the dude just got to put that suit on and fly around and never get his face. He's not making millions. Like, come on. Like, so he's getting his name like he has to wait to the end of the movie. Like, Mom, watch, my name's going to pop up. I was in one of those suits. Like, that's.
Ron, do you think they actually fly? Is that?
No, it's the cables. I've watched the green screen stuff and I ruined my childhood.
Maybe
by
it was.
watching it. Like, I shouldn't have watched the outtakes. I have
I shouldn't have watched it.
It ruined a lot of it. Like, even the scene where they all go together and they look like they're assembling and they fly through, like at the beginning. No, at the beginning of one of them,
like first Avengers movie. Yeah, you did.
When
You
they have it run into it's the Ultron. When they at the very beginning they're like fighting the soldiers and they don't know about the twins yet. That scene looks so dope, and then when you watch it on the green screen edit, I'm like, oh, this is trash.
Your innocence has been snatched.
It's been taken from you. And sorry, kids, like parents, turn it off if you don't want your kids to have the Marvel comics ruined for them, like it was for me. I'm still gonna watch Daredevil though. I can't wait for that to load up on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Looks really good. But anyway, so getting off of this, you always try to take me out of this with this Marvel stuff. But anyway,
he would never go there on his own.
Ron would never start talking about movies.
No,
but when you talk about JJ McCarthy, like I just don't like some of the pundits and how they keep everybody like takes one little bit of what one person says and then they all run with it. Like, oh, this is the story. Sam Darnold is pissed off and he's going to go to the Packers or he's going to go to the Bears. You know, like. Just stop it. Like Sam Darnold, if he resigns for 2 years, JJ McCarthy is going to be fine. There will be no trade for JJ McCarthy because the Vikings don't have to pay JJ McCarthy a lot. And now those are your two quarterbacks. You let Daniel Jones walk. You don't pay him $10 million. And then you get a third quarterback and Max Brosmer from the Gophers. Okay. What you got next?
My quick theory is that it's actually kind of great if you're on a rookie deal, you don't play for 3 years like Jordan Love. You only have to play average for 1 year and get a huge contract extension because teams are like,
put together like 4 good games, and you can get like $250 million.
And now we have to give him an extension. It's actually kind of a great situation.
Exactly. Like, why would you leave and go to the Tennessee Titans or the what's the team, the Browns, if Deshaun Watson, if they figure this out, they cannot pay him, and then have to get thrown into the fire, not do well, and now people are calling you a bust. Like, just wait. If that's the case, if they let Sam Darnold walk and they bring JJ McCarthy in, either way, I'm fine with it.
The tides are turning. It used to be that the impatience meant everybody started day one right away.
Yeah,
we thought of guys like Tom Brady sitting a year. It was like a thing of the past. We got to be patient through Peyton Manning's rookie year was a thing of the past. No, it's the thing of the future.
Yeah, Mahomes sat for a little bit behind Alex Smith. Like it just makes sense.
Everybody's ready when they're ready.
Yeah.
Ron, I don't want to distract you. I did watch the first episode of Daredevil last night with my nephew.
Was
it? Pretty good. I don't want to hype it up. Okay. Neither here nor there, though. Possible sign Cam Bynum doesn't return now with Theo Jackson extension. Yep. If we have seen the last of Cam Bynum in purple, what was your favorite celebration? Do you have a favorite all-time NFL celebration? Like I love the Joe Horn cell
white
phone.
Chicks right away.
Okay.
The white chicks dance. The reason I loved it because Reggie Wilson tweeted super fast, hand on the trigger too fast. Oh, he just did the kid and play. He did not do the kid and play. He did the white chicks. And I tweeted right away. And then Reggie looks up at me because we were in the press box and he's like, oh, you're right. There was white chicks. I'm like, I know my movies. Like at first, because one, the true house party is the flip and then the back leg kick. I didn't see that. And then when they start doing the other stuff and the flip over the leg, I'm like, oh yeah, that's 100% white chicks. And so but that was my favorite one. That
do you have a favorite?
To do that in equipment, that took a lot.
Oh, that took
a whole lot.
You could tell he barely stuck that landing too. That was a lot.
Favorite of all time. I mean, I still think that's it. The only thing better than that is the nostalgia of like the iconic celebration. So the Deion Sanders, two-step,
Joe Horn,
the
Joe Horn phone.
The Joe Horn to me was a little bit too planned out. Like I didn't like that.
I loved it.
And the fact that he like flipped the phone open. It was a flip phone. Then he hit like 3 buttons like he was in a movie. Like if you're gonna dial a number and really call somebody so that person can be like, yo, he called me during the game. Like you really gotta sell it. Like call Adam or not Adam Silver, but who's the commissioner? Call Roger Goodell while you're doing it and be like, hey, yo, I don't care about the fine. Click. Like I want that. Like I wanted the full. That thing probably didn't even have a SIM card in it. Oh, that's really old for the kids that don't know what a SIM card was.
It would have been great if he started playing Snake.
I was gonna say,
it would have been great if he just started playing Snake on that.
Back then, he probably didn't have reception in the stadium.
Probably not. Now with a flip, well, I don't know. Flip phones is like drug dealer phones, so you got reception everywhere with those things. Like those things worked in a coffin.
Better call Saul.
Further hinting at Ron's checkered past.
Better call Saul.
But the other one was, you guys might be too young to remember this, but Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle.
Icky Shuffle, baby. Ron, did you ever
the Super Bowl a couple years ago when Cincinnati was in it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Ron, did you ever have a celebration planned when you were in the league? Like
not
you worked
planned,
on after
but
practice?
Yeah, no, not after
Something
practice.
queued up?
We talked about it on the bench, and the only reason I know this because I got to find the clip. It's mic'd up, and we were at Cincinnati playing the Bengals. Bart Scott, me, and Ed Reed were just joking about like if we blocked because we had blocked a punt the week before against the Titans or 2 weeks before, and I was right there to scoop and score, which a lot of people keep sending me the video now. Ed Reed scoops it. And I'm running with them to make sure nobody, gets to him so we can score. And everybody's saying like, yo, all you had to do was pick the ball up and you would have scored. I'm like, damn, you're right. And so we were joking, like the Bengals, we knew like we had a twist on. We knew the Bengals like punt team, like the punter was a little bit slow. Gary Zahner, who's the Vikings former special teams guy, he had kind of gave us a heads up like, yo, you can run a twist with outside in and inside out. So you flip it on each side so that their guards and their wing guy picks the wrong side. And so Bart came free on the loop. He blocks it, and I didn't even look to block anybody. I went straight for the ball. So on the bench, we had already been talking about doing the wet pants dance. Stupid dance. But if you imagine you got on jeans and you're a kid and you're at the park and your jeans get wet because you're at the park and you maybe dive in the snow or something. How would you walk with wet jeans going back into the school? Your legs are, you got your legs straight and you're kind of like stiff. So that was the wet pants dance. You had like stiff legs, but you still had a little 2-step to it. So like me and 3 or 4
a little
guys,
swag to it. A little swag
I'm
to
gonna
it.
be honest.
Okay.
I really like the evolution of celebrations. Now that you brought that up,
yeah, it definitely has changed. Now I will say Baker Mayfield doing the slide, like his is dope. Like I don't know if you saw that he did the slide, and then the one dude grabs his like shirt and does the briefcase, and he walks down the red carpet. We did that first with Brandon Stokely. So it's in the paper. I got to find, it's like the Boston Globe or whatever the Boston newspaper was on the front page we played the Jacksonville Jaguars. I don't know if you can find old footage of this, but Todd Heap scores, me, like Travis Taylor, Todd Heap, I forgot Jamal Lewis, Trester Taylor. We all posed for a picture, and Brandon Stokely came sliding by to take the picture of us. So I'm like, we did that first. Baker Mayfield he's just getting the credit now because social media. But
copycat league.
Brandon Stokely put that out there first, and we did play in that one. He was like, "Yo, if we score, like, let's do it. Like, you guys take a picture, and I'm gonna be the photographer." And we had one more, Marcus Robinson. You guys remember Marcus Robinson came from the Bears, the Ravens, and he went to the Vikings. He scored 4 touchdowns in one game against the Seattle Seahawks. I'll never forget this. And so on his 4th one, like his 3rd one, I'm like, dude, you might catch it because he caught like 4 passes. I think that game it was like 4 passes for 4 touchdowns.
The Moss Thanksgiving game.
Similar, very similar. And so on his 3rd touchdown, I'm like, yo, you got to do this on the 4th one. Because I'm pretty sure if we run this play again, they just don't know how to stop it, which was 4 verticals. And they kept picking the wrong guy. And so they just kept moving Marcus around. And the safeties kept going cover 4, and they kept picking the wrong guy on 4 verticals. So the last one, he ran it looked like 4 verticals, but he ran stutter go, and his corner just completely bit. Like we were celebrating before he even caught it, and we told him, we're like, yo, do the forgot the superhero, I think Superman, do the like bend down and then jump up. And I think he was supposed to do that, but Travis didn't know he was going to do that, and was going to jump on his back, completely like went over him and landed on his head.
That rules.
And then
you do see that a lot. some guys ruin the timing. Hey, I'm just getting into it here.
Know.
I need let it breathe.
He had no idea. He
second.
thought Marcus was going to stand up straight, but he had already went down to do the like Superman, and you just see Travis go flying over the top of him, and then Marcus jumps straight up. So it was cool on Marcus's part. Travis ruined it a little bit. So
all right, wow, so first of all, just real quick, I was going to mention what left on Landon. Sorry, I just mentioned in chat. The Duck Duck Grey Duck one is one of my favorites.
Yeah,
Duck Duck Grey Duck is Goose. Duck Duck Goose.
Incorrect.
I thought you were from Minnesota, Ron.
I'm from Detroit, Michigan.
No, you are.
It is Goose.
My question was going to be a lot less interesting than all these others, which was just.
I saw somebody say the Green Bay in the chat. Somebody said the Green Bay.
Yeah,
moon.
the
mooning. The mooning was
all timer.
What did the announcer call that? Didn't he say that was
disgusting?
Disgusting act by Randy Moss.
Maybe he meant it complimentary, like in the way we would say it now.
Yeah.
Maybe he was just ahead of his time.
Before his time.
I'm sure that's what Joe Buck was doing. Actually, honestly, if he would
ahead of his
Joe
time.
Buck, he would pretend that was the case.
He would, because he regrets that now.
Yeah.
He would love a way out.
No, my question is just, what are like the biggest mistakes players make in free agency? Like, what do they regret?
Yeah, I'd say leaving a good situation, thinking that, it's and I hate to say this because it sounds so dumb, but when you already have $50 million or $40 million and your team offers you, let's call it 12, and another team offers you 13 or 14. I get it. $2 million is a ton of money. Go get your money. But in the content or concept of where you are, how long you've been there, what it's going to cost you to maybe move, not just financially, but like, are you relocating your family? Does your family even want to go? Do they want to stay here? And then you're going to just go. And now you've created like separation within your own family because you're living in this state. They're living in this state. There's drama involved. You get divorced. I hate to use, I'm going to use a real life situation. Look at Jason Zucker in hockey. You know what I mean? Like if he could have stayed a Wild player and maybe taken less money and knowing what the future would have held, like jumping around team to team. And not to say that wouldn't have like saved his marriage, but I guarantee it would have saved some stress on what was going on in life. I think sometimes people look at like, well, here's the reason why. So like Chad Greenway talked about that. Like, I could have went here and made 11 million, but why not stay with the Vikings, make 9? You know what I mean? Like that's the thought process in it. Why leave a situation that's better for you to just chase maybe $1 or $2 more million, and then you go there and you really don't enjoy it? It's not what you thought it was going to be. The team's not what you thought it was going to be. The situation with the coach is not what you thought it was going to be. And now you're contemplating like, why did he even go over there? Everson Griffin, the Vikings offered him a number. He even says it to this day. He thought the grass was greener on the other side. When people say, what do you regret the most? He said picking to leave the Minnesota Vikings because of what they did for him. They had health and wellness in place for him to handle what he was going through where other teams don't know you. And so I think that's the biggest mistake. And Everson Griffin actually said it out of his own mouth, like that he regretted not staying with the Minnesota Vikings because one, he felt a little, what was the word he used? He felt disrespected because they didn't offer him the number he thought they should offer him. And then he goes to like the Lions, I think, for the same number the Vikings offered him. Because it's almost like
Lions,
wherever he went first. He went Cowboys or Lions first, but whoever he went,
his relationship was sour by then.
Correct, but wherever he went first, he took the same amount of money the Vikings offered him. He just was mad the Vikings didn't offer him more
out of spite,
out of spite. And so then he looks back, he's like, man, that was probably the downfall. Like that was the worst decision I ever made. And so where he probably could have played for the Vikings for 5 to 6 more years. Like he was a legend here. They loved him. Take a little bit less money, but stay on with Mike Zimmer. I think none of that stuff would have happened of like going, and then eventually coming back to the Vikings. But by then it was too late.
Yeah, there is a human element that we don't talk about a lot.
It's all
like
money
uprooting your kids from schools and doing the whole thing, buying a house, renting a house. What are we going to do? A lot goes into it. Plus, and I don't want to shortchange like 1.5 extra million dollars, but like is that after taxes, you pay your agent fees, whatever it may be, just not as much as it looks like on paper sometimes.
Somebody told me this once.
As a percentage, yeah.
Was it? I'm not even going to say the name. I don't know who it was. I'm thinking Tony Dungy, but I don't think Tony Dungy talks like this. It was somebody else. But they were like, your mental health, if you're able to make $500,000 and be mentally healthy, or make $750,000 and be stressed, Why would you choose stress? It's $250,000. Then Luke, you broke it down. Money, change, taxes, all the other stuff. Is that really worth you being mentally unhealthy versus $500,000 is a lot of freaking money. Like, you can make it work. What is that extra $250 getting you that you think you need? Because you don't need it. You know what I mean? Like, you need God, you need your family, and you need love. That's it. Like, you don't need some of the stuff people think they need. And that's why, like, you know, I always, whenever I see that players like choosing a different team, and then the reports come out, the Vikings offered them this and this team offered them this, and then you look a year or two later and that person's not in the league anymore, you're like, bad decision. And so that's the only thing I think about is, like, even with me, when it comes to like certain jobs and offers and things, and like, I'm always weighing the options. How much is this going to stress my time? And is it worth my time when do I need that or do I want that? You know, like, that's where I think it comes into. And so I think that's the biggest mistake players make. They just chase the carrot thinking like, oh, another $1 million. Like, but like, what are you getting? If you, and then if it's like a later contract, like call us a 3 or 4 year deal, you might not even see years 3 and 4. So why are you taking that knowing that this team might cut you and then they don't care about you? Like, the Vikings care. I'm not saying just the Vikings, but any team, you know, like the team you've been with the longest is going to care more than the newest team. It's just like, you know, when you, I'm not even saying, I would say when you have a side chick versus, you know, like a main chick, and you got a girlfriend and blah, blah. Like, your girlfriend cares way more about you than some other chick you just meet in a club. So, like, why waste your time with that? It seems great at first, and then it's just going to be a bad situation later because the little annoying, because we are annoying men, the little annoying things we do, your spouse or the girlfriend you've had for years, she understands it and is dealing with it. This new girl, after a month, she'd be like, "Oh, heck no, I can't deal with this." And then
Sam struggles with that all the time.
And now you have nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, more money, more problems. You know, that's my motto.
I could not see Sam in a club. Like, I can't imagine a single Sam Ekstrom in a club, like trying to talk to a young lady. You got to see it to believe it. Like, in the club, we all family. Like, what? What are you talking about?
Hello, fellow young people. Byron Murphy, can't bind them. You heard it. You heard it here. You don't want to go for that. You know, you don't want to take more money. You don't want that. It's just more stress in your life.
So the moral is nobody take more money ever.
Not. So okay. So there's a difference. There's always the other part. You know, like $7 million more. Okay, go get your money. You know, I'm talking about those little small instances where guys are like nitpicking with their agent and their team over, you know, $1 million workout bonus or $500,000 workout bonus. Like, this team offered me $1 million if I make 80% of my workouts. Yeah, but they might have Tanya Harding meet you in the parking lot so you don't make that last workout. Like, I remember Santana Moss. Like, we were at a party in DC, and for his birthday weekend, him and Clinton Portis and Sean Taylor used to do this big birthday, and I think they still do it. Rest in peace, Sean Taylor. And they were doing their little birthday weekend, and it's like 2006. And I remember Santana Moss brought that up. He's like, "Man, I got a $500,000 workout bonus, and I got to make 80% of my workouts." And we were all like, "Where are you at right now?" He's like, "Man, I'm at like 77%. He's like, "I can't miss." So he literally got up at like 5 a.m. on like a Friday, drove like an hour just to go be at like a workout to make sure he didn't miss any more workouts. Cause I'm like, who cares? Like, you partied all night and you're dead tired. Just go in there, work out, and throw up. Like, but you got to go. And they make you like, this is back in the day though, but we used to have to like sign in when we went to work out to make sure they took attendance. Like, yep, so-and-so was here. So-and-so was here. And yeah, he had like 80% of his workouts was his thing. Some guys now, I think they make it like 100% of the workouts or 90% of the workouts. Like, they add those workout bonuses in there. And again, and Luke Braun knows this, or Reef probably does too, but it doesn't hit your salary cap until whenever you decide to pay it out. Like, you can spread that out, but now that player at least knows this is guaranteed money if I do this workout. I've also seen it where guys have $1 million bonuses and they still don't work out. They're like, I don't care. I'm going to work out my own guy. Like, I don't trust your trainer. You know, like, there's that too. And so, because I've talked to the Vikings trainer, Derek Keys. I mean, we need to get him on, Sam, at some point this offseason. But, you know, talking about offseason workouts and talking about the guys that come in and get the extra work, the guys that, you know, trust in the program, all the stuff they put around it. And he's like, and we know there's guys that have their own deal. And he said, what we try to do is, hey, bring your workout sheet from your guy to us so we at least know what you're doing. and then we can help you when you're in our building. So we're not like combating. And I think that's why the Vikings have been so successful too, is because they're willing to work with these trainers. They're not like mad, because back in the day, guys used to be mad at those trainers. Now they're like, look, okay, I'm getting paid regardless if you show up. But now when you show up, give me your sheet. Show me now it's an iPad, but show me your iPad. What are you doing with, whether it's ETS with Adam Thielen, like whatever it is, there's metrics you can see. Okay, this guy's done this, and this. All right, let's have you on this today. And Harrison Smith told me about that. Like he kind of goes into the Vikings deal and he has like a specific workout because his guys already gotten him ready. So the Vikings kind of let him do his own thing. And that's why they're a great organization.
Yeah, Ron Johnson shows on Tuesdays, folks. He's got Cody Lindenberg on the next show. That's Gophers linebacker, draft hopeful. Cody Lindenberg, great interview. Already in the can. It's going to be great.
And he already met with the Vikings twice, so I'm going to talk a little bit about that conversation too on Tuesday.
Fantastic.
Little steam. I love it. Ron, your next show will be a good one because it'll be the day after tampering opens. We should have some answers to break down. That's coming.
Who's going to call Kirk Cousins early this time?
Yeah, where does Kirk land? Well, we know that by Tuesday.
Put that on our bingo cards.
Yeah.
Ron Johnson at 3 Ron
Cleveland
Johnson.
Browns.
Oh my God.
He's here every Thursday. Thanks a lot, Ron. Great stuff.
Appreciate it.
We will take a very quick pause. And wait, where's Arif?
Who's to say?
What?
You're gone.
He's in there.
The video is gone, but we can still hear him. I've never seen that happen before.
That rules.
Well,
hey guys, what's going on?
Well, let's pause and hope it fixes itself.
Game time.
What
It did
is
not fix
happening?
itself.
Let's go back to the 5 box.
All right. Hey,
And there he is.
Look at that.
4. Oh, okay.
Hey,
we just had
Hey,
to
okay. Had to
toggle
turn it off and on again.
All right, here's the game.
I love our audio only listeners. They must be just perplexed all the time.
Completely befuddled.
Before we get into this, I do have an update about Theo Jackson from Andrew Kramer. Somebody in the chat mentioned it. That it's actually a 3-year deal for Theo Jackson, billed as a 2-year extension plus the RFA tender. So it sounds like he'll be playing this year on the RFA tender he was in line to get, and then 2 years after that. But he also adds, and the Access Vikings people have been pushing this for a bit now, expect Josh Metellus to clear this and then some when he gets an expected raise at some point this offseason.
Ooh.
Okay. Do you guys still see him as a safety? I think that's a
Josh
loose
Metellus?
I don't
interpretation
care what
of
you call
he
him.
is. Yeah.
I mean, he meets in the safety room. He's coached by the safety coaches. He's a safety, but like he'll do whatever you ask. That's cool.
Yeah. We're going to put together bingo boards for free agency next week. I've got a running list of about 20. You guys are going to bring your own suggestions as well. Should I share the screen and then we can just add to the list, make one big document? Let's do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do it Thanksgiving draft style, kind of.
Yeah.
Tech-wise. So for these, while Sam gets set up, for these, I just want to clarify, we're doing not player to team or anything like that, but we're doing like vibes. We're doing like stuff that will happen, such as, now you can see it, like Vikings use void years on someone.
That one's
like
boring.
more generic, just like footnote.
Yeah, in my head, I had like re-signing Johnny. Like I said, like just re-signing some guys, going to sign like a splat, going to trade or sign for Jonathan Allen from Washington after he gets cut or something like that. Specific things, but you got some more, not necessarily broader things, but yeah, like Luke said, more vibey stuff here. Vikings cut a veteran, clear cap space by restructuring a deal, use void years, like you said.
Lose a free agent that they were in the mix for. I kind of like.
Yeah,
that's a free space. That happens to you like 300 times a year.
Yeah. So let's see what else Sam has. Vikings signed someone within 30 minutes of tampering open. Vikings signed a player to over a $50 million deal. That one's exciting.
Ooh, that's
Emotional
fun, yeah.
farewell post from a departing Viking. Emotional farewell post from the Vikings about a departing player. What is a high-end swing tackle, Sam?
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe we just put swing tackle.
Sure.
How about as a line, just because I just did this on Locked On Vikings, the high-end swing tackle high enough to count toward the compensatory formula.
Ooh, okay. I like that one. Yeah,
that's good.
That puts him at like 2.53 mil, something like that is probably where that cutoff's gonna be.
Yeah,
maybe
and it doesn't
3.
have to actually be a CFA to count, right? Because if it's like somebody that was cut and the Vikings signed for an amount that is similar to a CFA, yeah.
How do you find out that number? How do you know
It
that
is.
number?
We'll just
it's guesswork. I'm going off of what the number was last year, and assuming it's going to be a little bit higher than that, just because cap go up.
So that's kind of the common spit. You go off last year's
actual,
number. And then...
Yeah, we won't actually know the number until free agency has gone until June 1st, until all of the free agents have been signed, and then they can determine what the number is based on
we can make a guess.
Which percent, like if you got to be in like the top 25% of contracts or something like that.
Yeah. Sam also says upgrade at wide receiver 3, which that one's kind of ambiguous, right? We'll have to.
I think that would be over Jalen Naylor. That would be the
Jalen Naylor.
Okay.
So we would have to argue that one, but that's okay.
Yeah. I mean, it could be unambiguous, right? They could just like sign someone who's like very obviously good. Harrison Smith with ambiguous tweet. That's a typo, Sam. I thought you were an editor. Johnny Munt comes back.
Johnny Munt comes back, baby.
Right.
Johnny Munt comes back, baby.
Pelissero gets a big Viking scoop. Signing is broken after 9 p.m. Vikings sign a player with an injury history.
Central time. Okay.
That's a good one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Vikings sign a player with injury history. Vikings sign outside free agent over 30 years old. Vikings free agent signs with an NFC North rival.
Love that one.
That's a good one. Defensive signing has a B-Flow connection. Offensive signing has a KOC connection. Vikings hold a press conference within 72 hours of FA beginning. I like that.
That's good.
We
need a Florio, something with Florio.
Something with Florio.
I have a Florio that is Florio proven dreadfully wrong about something.
Dreadfully wrong.
Yeah. The main example I have for this is if Kwesi gets an extension before the draft, I feel like we can click that one off because he's been pushing that Kwesi maybe won't get an extension, that the Wilfs are impatient with him, and that he maybe doesn't even run the Vikings anymore. Like he's pushing that narrative as hard as he pushed JJ wants out.
Sure. So my free space is any player with any team comes to terms with a new deal, but that one's too close to Sam's within 30 minutes of tampering open, because mine was within minutes of tampering open.
So what do you want the term? What do you want the amount of time to be? I did 30 minutes. It could be
30 minutes for team specific feels aggressive enough, but for any team, it needs to be within minutes, like within 2 minutes.
2 minutes of open.
We
so
can
like
have,
the
we
tweet
can have
comes
both.
out at that's true. So the tweet comes out like at what is it? Open 11 Eastern, or something like that.
12 Eastern, I think.
12 Eastern. So at 12:02 Eastern or something like that. Within that time span. So phrases that I think happen all the time that are euphemisms that I don't always love. Team friendly deal. You're already writing one down. But yeah, team friendly deal for a player that is underpaid. Winning the offseason, which is the one that you wrote down. I like that one a lot. Winning or won the offseason, either one works.
On this, how about one that's like on a fairly reasonable deal, the response to it is just a bunch of money bag emojis, like people completely overestimating how much money actually is a lot.
Yeah. Actually, let's make this one spicier for winning the offseason. The team with the most cap space, which I believe is the Patriots. You can correct me if I'm wrong. The team with the most cap space is the one that wins. Is it the Raiders?
It could be wrong.
Is it?
We can check like right now. But
nope, Patriots.
Yeah.
Raiders are second.
Yeah.
Patriots by a lot. Wow. They have 119 mil.
Patriots have nobody. Yeah.
So Patriots win the off. So the team with the most cap space, the Patriots win the offseason.
Yeah, Patriots win the offseason.
Yeah, so let's do that one instead of winning the offseason.
The Bears will always give them a run for their money.
Yeah, of course. And then I characterizing Sam, you didn't update winning the offseason. What's going on here?
I'm sorry, what was I supposed to write down?
Keep up.
Patriots.
Say the Patriots specifically win the offseason.
Yeah.
Got it.
And then for a team that is missing out in free agency and is clearly striking out, people recharacterizing that team as building through the draft. I like it when teams sign a culture guy or a locker room guy or a glue guy or any similar euphemism if that guy is bad at football. Anytime an insider tweets out a deal that clearly was an agent copy paste that brings up out of context statistics.
That is so good.
Oh God, yes. That's a free space.
Yeah. So like, kind of like the Dalvin Cook type stuff. It doesn't even have to be a completed deal. It just has to be. Dalvin Cook is like waiting out free agency for a team that's the right fit. He's a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
You know, like
a very Mr. Editor kind of post. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Player characterized as taking a pay cut for the team or his teammates, but it's just like an automatic restructure. Team thinking a blocking tight end can. Oh, I'll let you finish typing.
Okay, so I do have a Vikings restructure, and this would be just an anyone does an auto restructure.
But that it's framed as the player doing the team a favor when it's not at all.
Yes,
yeah,
framed
exactly.
as player helping team. Got it.
Yeah. And then team thinks a blocking tight end can really unlock his receiving potential with their new team.
Beautiful.
Which is obviously the Josh Oliver, but this happens all over the place.
It reminds me of the old Dan Hansis trope alert bit. Like, can we just put best shape of his life somewhere in here?
I've got it. That's actually the next one down. So I've got.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Best shape or health of his life for an older or injury-prone player. So like a Marcus Davenport would qualify here.
Yeah.
And then for a first-round bust, fresh start or change of scenery.
Oh, man, yeah. Former first-round player used as the tagline for a horribly turbo bad player. Yeah.
Yeah. A prominent national or prominent beat reporter confuses the average annual value with cap value.
Ooh. We got like 40 of these now.
And then here's my last one. Fans praise or criticize Kwesi for a quote-unquote analytics move that doesn't actually comport with our understanding of public-facing analytics.
Yeah, like he signs a running back and people are like, oh, analytics Kwesi.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I only have a couple to add to that. I would like to add Kirk Cousins puts foot in mouth.
I love that one.
And points if you can give me the specific line.
No, I'm gonna keep it vague enough to be able to hit, but he said something he's not supposed to say. And they're running laps around Kwesi after somebody else makes a horribly overpriced signing that the Vikings declined.
I like that one. Yeah. Ryan Poles is running laps around Kwesi.
Yeah, which I already got to the Trey Smith trade. People, they're running laps around Kwesi. Like, I don't know if we wanted to be in on that, dog. I'm sorry, the Joe Thuney trade.
It was a Joe Thuney trade. Yeah. That would be a crazy. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's a bloated contract thing. That's good. What else you got?
And I just put Kwesi extension itself on mine too, but that also kind of overlaps with the Florio thing I said.
Let's hold off since that may not pay off till like July.
Okay.
It'd be nice if we could.
I was going to say like before the draft.
Kwesi signing before draft.
Yeah.
Is this okay? Kwesi signing before draft. All right. Inman, anything to add? This is good because our boards are going to be.
Yeah, now all of our bigger boards are going to be different.
Yeah. So now we all pick like the 25 we want out of here.
I think it's a random.
I would just do like a random shuffle. Yeah,
random shuffle in the system.
Okay.
I think you guys covered a lot of boxes. You checked a lot of good ones here.
Free space Sam makes it rain at the club during the off season. That's a good free space macho.
Yeah, undoubtedly. All right, I gotta before anyone sees my super sensitive secret emails there on the left.
They've been up on the screen the whole time.
Man, just like a full docs. Incredible.
Yeah. I was like, what is he doing? Why not just a Google Doc? This is crazy. Also, I wanted to shout out a comment from even before the Ron interview from T. Kubler.
That was a long time ago then.
Yeah. Braun eats Hassenpfeffer. That's crazy. That is a wild thing to say for a guy with pet rabbits. Just wanted to shout that.
I can guarantee you, I will not. I had rabbit once as a kid. That we hunted.
No,
I'm a different man now.
I enjoy rabbit. I've had it with paella. It's good.
Yeah, sure.
There's a new segment on this show.
Emails in Russian. Macho.
Why is Sam still using AOL?
Yeah. It's the lore of QAnon Sam grows.
Yeah, Sam Ekstrom. Let's go.
Q-Storm. New segment on the show. It's called Bad Take Anniversary. The moments that we greatly regret from our regrettable podcasting past. Today, I dunk on myself. This take from March, I think it was 11th. Might have been the 7th.
Yeah. So
last year.
Anniversary, yeah.
Post Sam Darnold signing.
Oh, no.
Take it away, Sam. Talk about Sam Darnold. I want to like him because he's got a great first name, and you guys have told me that you preferred him. Like you guys said, Sam Darnold will be a great acquisition, and I want to believe you. But you're going on a pretty flimsy 6-game sample size in 2022, where he was certainly league average. But if you look at the body of work, man, I don't know how I can really talk myself into this. Bottom 6 in deep passing percentage every year except 2022, where guess what? He was first. He was first in the 6-game sample. Horrible against pressure, except for 2022. So really, you're banking on 2022 6 games being the reality and not the anomaly. Yeah, should have signed Russ. I stand by that. Sign Russ.
I'm not mad at you over that one. We all got duped by that. Nobody saw this Sam Darnold season coming. I don't know if Sam Darnold saw this Sam Darnold season coming.
No, Braun. We can take a victory lap for being the closest to correct here. I think we absolutely demolished this Price is Right on Sam Darnold. I think that's fine.
Oh, I like that.
Sure. Yeah. No one went over. That's for sure.
I like that. We didn't win both showcases, but we're still not leaving empty-handed. Okay.
Sam, you didn't include any of our pushback in that audio. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't want to overdo it. I don't want to overdo it.
This isn't about reliving the good takes. I agree.
I know, but I like it when someone else is wrong and I'm right, because I know the other thing is going to happen sooner rather than later.
Let me just enjoy this.
I could have thrown this in. I didn't want to overdo it. Luke Inman chimes in and says, "Well, wait, hold on now. Who really said they wanted Sam Darnold? I wanted Jacoby Brissett." I should have left that in.
Awesome.
That would have been okay.
That rules. Jacoby's still good. You're still good. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So you got my bad take out of the way. Okay, perfect.
Oh, play the sound. I got a good one if you're worried about comp picks. 49ers have informed defensive tackle Javon Hargrave that he will be released on the first day of the league year next week. How about that?
We could have Jonathan Allen
the comp formula
at large. We could have Javon Hargrave, who's been linked to the Vikings in the Alec Luke
Seahawks.
Who cares? Let's sign all of them. Money's fake.
Yeah.
Bosa.
CT group has grown.
Bosa. Yeah,
Joey Bosa. That's wild.
Joey Bosa, Javon Hargrave. Get Jonathan Allen. It's all Gucci. We'll be good.
We're fine.
Trade for DK.
Yeah, it's fine.
How many years left on DK's deal?
DK qualifies as an upgrade at wide receiver 3, right? So that you can just check that off the bingo card.
DK has 1 year left, and he wants a new deal as part of the trade. That's what Seattle couldn't figure out. That's why he's getting traded.
Yeah,
they are not getting a first-round pick.
No, it's probably mid-day 2 is what the reporting has estimated.
Even that would be a little aggressive given what we've seen for high-end players with onerous deals already attached to them. Like Joe Tooney.
We will be live on Monday as tampering opens. It's going to be a lot of fun. We did this last year, too. We were on Kirk Cousins' watch last year. This year, Sam Darnold watch on Monday. The Minnesota Football Party. Thanks for watching and listening to Locked On Vikings podcast feed. Subscribe to Locked On Sports Minnesota. We're on the march to 10,000 subscribers. Be part of a fun group over there, Locked On Sports Minnesota. Also get all the postcasts with Luke Inman after every Wolves, Vikings, Gophers, and Twins game. And we will be back soon on the Minnesota Football Party. See ya.